Are you doing what you should, or are you doing what you dare? What God says about you. Most spiritual men coaches and Christian men coaches who come to the Prosperous Womb, they're doing what they should. It's practical, it's realistic, it's logical, and it makes sense. They're selling the 10K offer or the 25K mastermind. It's tied to a very specific blueprint. It's tied to the best sales system, the best marketing system, the sales funnel. And then they take the 100K offer, the 250K offer, the $1 million offer that God has given them, and they wrap that in pretty pink tissue, put in a big gold box, and they stick it up on a pedestal. And they wait until they're qualified enough to sell premium coaching offers, until they're expert enough and have enough authority to work with premium coaching clients. Let's talk about a song that changed everything for me. In 1991, Reba McEntire released a song called Is There Life Out There? Is There Life Out There? And that song became my anthem. My early 20s in law school and throughout my 30s and my 40s, I was navigating a high-stakes litigation career. I was litigating cases as a defense attorney and then later as a prosecutor in over 16 countries around the world. And every day of my career, I thought, I want to quit my job, not because I hate my job, not because I wasn't good at my job, but simply because I want to do the thing that God has put in my heart. God didn't call me to do this. But how do I leave? I was making almost $1 million a year. How do I walk away from what's logical, what's practical, what's realistic, what's reasonable, into doing a fashion business and a consulting business that I don't even know is going to work? I was terrified of the unknown. I was asking, how do I make the same amount of money that I'm making now? And then one night in a hotel room in India, the song came on, Is There Life Out There? And then in the chorus, there's a line that says, she's done what she should. Should she do what she dares? I remember thinking, should she do what she dares? And that broke me. It broke my life. It broke my heart. It cracked everything up to my soul. And I remember sitting there and I go, I'm going to quit my job and the thing that God has called me to do. I am going to do the thing. Should she do what she dares? I'm going to dare to do it. And now, almost 30 years later, I see women. They come to the Prosperous Womb and they're asking how to sell high-ticket coaching offers, how to attract premium coaching clients, how to create the 100K offer. What do I give for 250K? How do I even show up and say the investment to work with me is $1 million? They're chanting, dancing around their destinies with the same question, how? And every time I hear that, I quietly whisper to myself, should she do what she dares? Should she do what she dares? Is there life beyond the question you're asking? Is there life beyond your 10K offer? Is there life beyond that 25K mastermind? Is there life beyond the game you're playing where you pretend like you don't know who you are? Is there life beyond forgetting to remember who God says that you are? And here's the thing. That's the easy question. That's the easy question. Because when we ask how questions, we take God in us, the creator of the universe, and we fit God into a box, into a blueprint, and we squeeze God into the skinny white jeans so that it fits perfectly to the 10K offer. And then that way we have to work harder. We have to strive. We have to do all of the things so that we can feel good enough to receive the $10,000, to receive the $25,000. But guess what? One thing I invite women to consider all the time is that working harder, striving, trying to feel good enough to get the money, it never parted any sea. No Red Sea was ever parted because of what you did, because of how hard you worked. We know who parts the Red Sea and how. In West Africa, we have a joke. We say that God fetches water in a basket to disgrace the bucket. Okay? So it doesn't matter how many systems, strategies, and formulas you have. The person who is aligned with the thing that God has called them to do is going to come moving right past you to the $1 million months that you worked so hard and had all the systems and strategies and all the things you want to do to feel qualified or good enough. So what does it mean to really do the thing that God put in your heart? To fetch water with a basket in faith. When God created you, what he put in you, when he fearfully and wonderfully made you, it trumps any blueprint, any sales system. And if you're still asking, if it's 2027 and you're watching this, or 2050 or 2095, and you're watching this and asking yourself, how do I sell $1 million coaching offer? You're bullying yourself into mediocrity to fit into some system, some blueprint that God says you outgrew the minute he formed you in your mother's womb. There's a bridge. What is that bridge? It's life out there. It's life beyond the how. It's life beyond the 10K offers, 25K offers. It's life beyond chasing $1 million months, because money is not the end game. It's the version of you in your business where money is not the end game. It's the version of your business where you stop being the expert and the authority and you start to be a lighthouse, so that your potential clients remember who they are and come back home to who God says that they are. It's where you stop trying to have authority and stop trying to sell and close sales and become a midwife, where you birth the gifts, the magic, the medicine that God has put inside of you into an uncompromising, bold, premium coaching offer that is the highest expression of who God is through you for your client, for Caleb. Caleb, who knows who she is. She remembers who she is. She knows she can go out and possess the land that is already hers. Caleb doesn't start with a sales funnel. She doesn't care about your funnel or your system or your script. She wants you to tap into who God says you already are. Own your truth. Be authentic. Authenticity sells more than any system or script. That's where the magic happens, because guess what happens? Competition vanishes. When you remember who you are, there's no competition, okay? Because here's the thing. When you tap into who God says you are, God does not have a lookalike, which means if you're created in God's image, there's only you and the thing that God has given you to do. Competition, competitors, that's an illusion. It's an illusion that people are falling for. There's only you. There's no competition. When there's no competition, validation dies. Then you don't need to go out there and prove your worth. Then you don't need to go out there and get all the likes and subscribes and comments and build a big audience before you sell the $1 million coaching offer that God has put into your heart. You stop seeking likes and validation, and you start to align with the word of God, and then your signature medicine emerges. This is your signature medicine that births your $1 million coaching offer. Is the thing that takes you away from all of the things that justify the price to the one thing in your offer that supports your client to have the big results, the answer that God has for her prayer. What is that one signature medicine? Then you stop selling transactions and start midwifing human connection, curiosity, exploration, and relationship. Human to human relationships, okay? You ask better questions. You create the uncompromising premium coaching offer. And then you have the love letters where you say the thing that God is saying through you. It's unedited, it's unfiltered. It allows 99% of the audience and the markets to walk away from you, and only the 1% stays to listen and to learn. It supports you to listen, to learn, not to listen to respond, not to listen to contribute, but to listen, so that when you share your love letters messaging, when you whisper your love letters, Caleb knows you're speaking to her heart, and she feels your heart as she realizes, oh my gosh, Mimi sees me. In a room of 4,000 other people, I'm the only one she's speaking to. So when you send that email, when she reads the blog post, even though there are 1 million people watching that live that you're doing, there are 1 million people reading your emails, she thinks she's the only one you're speaking to, because you see her heart. You share the unfiltered love letter without worrying about what anybody else is going to say about you, without giving a damn what anybody thinks about the investment to work with you, without hearing people talk behind your back and say, who the hell does she think she is to sell $1 million coaching offer? And you say your name. I say, dabo, that's who? Child of the Most High God. You say your name, child of the Most High God. Drop in the comments below whatever your name is, child of the Most High God. That is who God put in you that qualifies you to send the thing. And so, when she sees that within 24 hours of finding you, she starts to ask you for the sale. And then you don't apologize for the investment to work with you. You don't justify the $1 million with all the things. Oh my gosh. And when you're ready to birth that uncompromised offer and step into your should she dare to do what she wants to do experience, that is when you start to sell like it's cashmere on your client's nervous system, because she's already asked for the sale. You're not striving. Then you allow yourself to have a real human conversation. Out of the 8 billion people on earth, God put this one person in front of you right now with her biggest dream. She came to you thinking, I have a horse. Mimi, give me a faster horse. And then you partner with God, the co-creator of the universe, to do the thing, to say the thing, to ask the question that blows open her mind. Because for the first time she says, oh my God, I have never been able to see, think, or even imagine that this was even possible for me right now. Because I too put it on a pedestal. It doesn't matter what niche you're in. When you ask the better questions, the answers sound like love letters. When your client is answering your questions in a sales conversation, it feels like you're listening to her private diaries, the one that nobody else knows about because she's been afraid to even tell her own heart. And this is how you dare to do the thing that God is calling you to do. You become a category of one, not because you have the best system, but because you be who God says you are in this book. This is why one of the things we do in the Prosperous Womb is what I call the she who dares. The she who should you do, the should you do what you dare experience. The link is below. In the should you do what you dare experience, I challenge you to create your one uncompromising premium coaching offer, to create that love letter experience for your premium coaching client and for the cashmere sales system to come through. So what the whole experience feels like cashmere on your client's nervous system. And she's like, how can I work with you? Can I please work with you? She's the one that's convincing you, persuading you, trying to make you say yes to her buy-in, not the other way around. It's in the link in the description below. Should she do what she dares experience? Let me know what you're still shielding in your coaching business and what you want to dare to do. Step into the experience and do the thing that God says that you already are. Let me know how this lands for you.